Let us solve the following example. Suppose we observe the following exchange rates and interest rates. At the spot exchange rate, it takes 106 Japanese yen to buy 1 Canadian dollar. At the 6-month forward rate, it takes 103.5 Japanese yen to buy 1 Canadian dollar. So you can see that Canadian dollar is sold at a discount in the forward market because it takes less Japanese yen to buy Canadian dollar in the forward market. Euro yen, so this is interest rate on Japanese yen. It's 4% per year. Euro Canadian interest rate, so this is the interest rate on Canadian dollars, is 8% per year. Trader is authorized to trade 1 million Canadian dollars. So what should trader do? The first step, we need to check if an arbitrage opportunity exists. A trader is authorized to trade 1 million Canadian dollars. From the previous discussion, we know that a trader needs to borrow in Canada. Interest rate in Canada is 8%. To calculate how much a trader will owe in 6 months, we have to multiply 1 million by 1 plus Canadian interest rate, which is 8%, in the power 1 over 2. Why is it 1 over 2? Because 8% is annual rate. T should show the number of years because the trader borrows for 6 months for half of a year. Therefore, T is equal 1 over 2. As a result, how much money the trader will owe in 6 months? In 6 months, the trader will need to repay 1,039,230.49 Canadian dollars. So at time 0, trader borrows 1 million Canadian dollars and immediately convert these Canadian dollars into Japanese yen by using the spot exchange rate, at which a trader can buy 106 Japanese yen with 1 Canadian dollar. Do we need to multiply by this exchange rate or to divide by this exchange rate? We need to multiply by this exchange rate. How can we check it? Keep track of the currency units. Because if we multiply 1 million by 106 Japanese yen over Canadian dollars as currency units will cancel each other and we'll have only Japanese yen left in the numerator. And this is what we want to have. So we will be able to, so the trader will be able to convert 1 million Canadian dollars into 106 million Japanese yen. Also at the time 0, the trader immediately invests this 106 million Japanese yen in Japan. And also because the trader knows that in 6 months, this Japanese yen will need to be converted into Canadian dollars. To eliminate any uncertainty associated with the future exchange rate, the trader also enters in the forward market. So the trader will sell this Japanese yen for Canadian dollars at the forward exchange rate. So now let us compute how much the trader needs to sell Japanese yen. Okay, so in order for us to know how much the trader will have in 6 months in Japanese yen, we will invest, we compute how we will invest this 106 Japanese yen at 4%. T, again, it's 1 over 2 because the Japanese yen are invested for half a year, for 6 months. So as a result, in 6 months, the trader will have 108,099,213.7 Japanese yen. And now there is not any uncertainty associated with the future exchange rate because the trader entered the forward contract at time 0. So now what we need to do, we need to convert this Japanese yen into Canadian dollars by using the forward exchange rate. At the forward exchange rate, it takes 103.5 Japanese yen to buy 1 Canadian dollar. Do we need to multiply by this exchange rate, or do we need to divide by this exchange rate? We need to divide by this exchange rate, because if we keep track of the currency units, we will see that Japanese yen will cancel each other, and Canadian dollar, because it will be in the denominator of the denominator, so it will become numerator. And this is what we want to have. So when we divide 108,099,213.7 Japanese yen by the forward exchange rate, which is 103.5 Japanese yen per 1 Canadian dollar, we will receive 1,044,436.85 Canadian dollars. So this is how much trader will have by exchanging 1 million Canadian dollars at the spot exchange rate into Japanese yen, by investing Japanese yen in Japan at 4% for half a year, and then by exchanging Japanese yen back to Canadian dollars at the forward rate in 6 months. And now we can calculate the arbitrage profit, which will be the difference between how much the trader needs to repay in Canadian dollars and how much money the trader will have after converting Japanese yen into Canadian dollars at the forward rate. So the difference between 1,044,436.85 Canadian dollars, so this is how much trader will have after converting Japanese yen into Canadian dollars at the forward rate, and 1,039,230.49 Canadian dollars. So this is how much the trader needs to repay. The difference between these two numbers is 5,206.37 Canadian dollars, and this is arbitrage profit. So this is the profit that the trader will be able to receive without any risk, because there is not any uncertainty regarding the exchange rate or regarding the interest rates, because at time zero, the trader knows exactly at what rate he can borrow, at what rate he can invest, and also at what rate he can exchange at the spot rate, and at what rate the trader will get in 6 months, because this is the forward rate. Okay, suppose you are the only one who was able to find this arbitrage opportunity. So other market participants are not aware of this opportunity. Does it mean that you can continue trading and reap benefits of this arbitrage opportunity forever? No, of course not. Because of your trading, exchange rates and interest rates, they will move into equilibrium, which is predicted by the interest rate. So they will move into interest rate parity condition. Specifically, what will happen with each exchange rate and with each interest rate? Let us start with the spot exchange rate. At the spot rate, you are buying Japanese yen with Canadian dollars. So by buying Japanese yen, you're increasing demand for Japanese yen. And by increasing demand of Japanese yen, you will pushing the price of Japanese yen higher. And you are buying Japanese yen with what currency? You are buying with Canadian dollars. So you're increasing supply of Canadian dollars. So by increasing supply of Canadian dollars and by increasing demand for Japanese yen, you are basically, as a result, at the spot exchange rate, Japanese yen will appreciate against Canadian dollar. Because think about currency like any other good. The price of good goes up if there is a demand for good goes up. And the price of the good goes down if supply of the good increases. And at the spot exchange rate, you are increasing demand for Japanese yen because you are buying Japanese yen, and you are increasing supply of Canadian dollars because you are using Canadian dollars. You bring Canadian dollars into the market to buy Japanese yen. As a result, Japanese yen will appreciate against Canadian dollar at the spot exchange rate. And you always have to specify against which currency, because if you simply just say Japanese yen appreciated against Canadian dollar, simply just you say Japanese yen appreciated, it's not enough, because there are almost 100 currencies around the world. So Japanese yen may appreciate against one currency, but may decline against another currency. So we have to always specify against which currency Japanese yen appreciated or depreciated. Now let us take a look at the forward trade. At the forward trade, the trader buys Canadian dollars with Japanese yen. So at the forward trade, the trader increases demand for Canadian dollars and increases supply of Japanese yen, because trader brings Japanese yen into the market to buy Canadian dollars. As a result, at the forward exchange rate, Japanese yen will appreciate against Canadian dollar. So you can see it's opposite to what is happening at the spot exchange rate. At the spot exchange rate, Japanese yen will be appreciating against Canadian dollar. At the forward exchange rate, Japanese yen will be, Canadian dollar will be appreciating against Japanese yen. Now let us take a look at the interest rates. In Canada, you borrow Canadian dollars. By borrowing Canadian dollars, you decrease the number of Canadian dollars that are available for borrowing. So as a result, the interest rate in Canada will go up, because you decrease the number of Canadian dollars that are available. So like in this particular case, you borrow $1 million, then another investor shows up in the market, and now there are less amount of Canadian dollars that are available for borrowing, so the interest rate will go up. So because you borrow in Canada, you will be putting upward pressure on the interest rate in Canada, and vice versa. In Japan, because the trader lends money in Japan, so the trader brings Japanese yen, so it increases the number of Japanese yen available for borrowing. As a result, by the increased investment in Japan, the interest rate in Japan will be expected to go down. So because of the arbitrage trading, this exchange rate and these interest rates will be moving into equilibrium. As a result, the arbitrage opportunity will disappear.